Let me tell you again. Woo! Love, love, love.
Hey.
Love, love, love.
Yo there guys, what is going on? This is Eki or Kendrick, and due to popular demand, I'm going to be talking about why it is that Munchlax is my AVI of choice. Why is that my Twitter profile picture? Why is it my YouTube profile picture? Because it is a bit of a long story, but I also think it might be very self-explanatory. Anyways, let's get into this. Most of you know what Pokemon is. When I was a little kid, I loved Pokemon. I loved it to death. I remember every Saturday getting up early in the morning to watch Pokemon. It was easily at the time my favorite TV show. I used to buy Pokemon cards, Pokemon stuffed animals, Pokemon pajamas. My friends and I at school would pretend to have Pokemon battles. It was just kind of what we did. It was just kind of my thing. I loved Pokemon. So when it comes to YouTube though, for my very first ever intro, I had a Munchlax in it. Basically how I came about that is because a friend of mine named Zadie, who I had met back on PS3, he could make intros and he made little template intros. I wanted one. He asked me what kind of an image would I like to be put in it. Now the first thing I said was was fried chicken, but he said it didn't look good, so could I think of anything that's actually like cartoon form? So the first thing that came to my mind was a Munchlax, because when it came to Pokemon, Munchlax was one of my favorite. And just to give you guys, I don't know, maybe a list of my top 10 favorite Pokemon, not in any particular order, would be Hitmonlee, Hariyama, Munchlax and Snorlax, Nothin, Regice, Torkoal, Dugtrio, Armaldo, and last but certainly not least, Primate. That list itself is very hard for me to even narrow it down to, because there are so many Pokemon I loved. I loved every Pokemon. I just loved that stuff. But eventually I just stopped playing it. I stopped watching the TV show. And I know that people are gonna end up asking me why it is that I stopped playing Pokemon, so here, let me give you guys a little bit of a rundown on what basically happened. When the Nintendo DS came out, they came out with these new Pokemon games, right? And they had, you know, all these new ways to play them and whatnot. And yes, I did used to play Pokemon on the Game Boy as well, but I really got into it when Nintendo DS came out. So I had one DS, eventually I got rid of it because I wanted to get some other stuff, so I got rid of all of my DS games, right? But then eventually I went and I got a new one, and then I saw that this new Pokemon game came out. So I was at GameStop like, oh my god, they must have a new series come out. Oh my god, mom, we need to get cable again. We need to get cable. So I went and I got this new game so I could play on my DS. I'm playing the game, having a whole lot of fun. I get all the way, like, I get basically 75% through the game in the first day. I've been up for hours. I haven't slept. I've barely eaten. I'm just playing and playing, and then my DS froze. Now, normally that wouldn't be a bad thing, because you have the save option, right? Eki, you did hit save, right? Nope. I didn't hit save once. I was so entertained by the game and all these new Pokemon that I haven't ever seen before, because fucking I haven't seen the TV show. Here I am just being thrust into this new world of Pokemon that I've never seen before, and I forgot to hit save. So all of that progress all disappeared. So I got rid of my DS again, I got rid of the game, and I never touched it again. Fuck that shit. So I used to be a huge Pokemon fan, right? I used to be a humongous fan of Pokemon. It's just eventually I stopped playing the game due to a very unfortunate mishap. So I have Munchlax as my intro, but eventually I get a new intro. So Munchlax for a while had disappeared from my channel, but people kept asking me to bring back Munchlax. So eventually I got an outro and I put Munchlax in that. And once again, people were happy to see Munchlax back. But then I stopped using like the outro. I stopped using all that stuff, and it got to the point where one day I looked at my background, right? I looked at the banner on my YouTube channel, I looked at my profile picture, I saw I had like sponsors in it, you know, my apparel, my Twitter, all that stuff. I saw I had it in it, and I wasn't happy with it. I looked at my channel and I was like, this looks way too professional. It looks like I'm trying to run a business here. I'm just having fun on YouTube. So I contacted a friend of mine named Mubulated, and I asked him if he could go ahead and draw me a Munchlax, a cartoon Munchlax. This motherfucker didn't even know what a Munchlax was. So right as I was about to roast him, I was like, nope, I gotta let it slide. I need him to make this for me. So he's the one who drew this. And then a friend of mine named Jonah put the Munchlax into a banner he had made for me, and that's why this is my banner. So why do you see Munchlax everywhere? Well, simply because it's one of my favorite Pokemon. Probably my most favorite. Leave a comment down below and let me know which Pokemon is your favorite. And just understand, if you name anything from the last 2 seasons of Pokemon, I'm not gonna know jack shit about what you're talking about. Anyways, I hope you all did enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like below. It is always appreciated. Comment, subscribe if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good shit in the description below. This has been Eki or Kendrick, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.